Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to talk about our daily technical analysis update for gold and silver. We're going to look at the dollar, we're going to look at the 10-year, look at gold, silver, and platinum, look at some ETFs, and then into some individual companies. A little bit weird today. I'll describe what I'm seeing in it. And again, technical analysis on a very short term is like 60% reliable. That means that almost half the time you're going to be wrong. I say that because I noticed some people in the comments section were saying, oh man, he said it was going to go up. Well, that's what the technical analysis was reading, was that we were going to go higher. I'll show you what I was seeing in the charts, and I'll show you what ended up happening. And sometimes that is exactly what happens, is the exact opposite happens of what you expect. So here we go. I'll jump in. I'll describe what I was seeing and what I think might happen going forward. So the dollar today was really strong, 0.34% higher. We also had increasing interest rates. That combination of stronger dollar and increasing interest rates, gold does not like that. You can see this thing ramp lower and lower as the dollar ramped higher and higher. And it's a weird combination to have a strengthening dollar at the same time that you have bonds going up. Basically, it means that people are selling bonds and buying dollars, which is a little weird. Either way, here's the dollar. This is 1 day delayed. We were at 92.86, so it jumped up here. Nice big move there, which pushed it all down. Again, we still have a uptrend here that's above it, and it may come up to try to retest this. So we could come all the way up to 93 something and then head back lower. We'll see what happens. But that's kind of on the short term. Here's our 10-year. It was up 2% today. Stronger dollar, stronger 10-year. Doesn't really help the commodity complex at all with that stronger dollar. So what we saw today was a strong sell-off in gold. It did sell off a little bit below its line here. We got a little bit of buyers down here creating this teeny wick. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Let's see if we bounce above this line. Maybe it's the market trying to flush everyone out. Flushing out the cabbage hands, if you got cabbage hands or spaghetti hands or whatever the heck you want to call it. But again, I'm still looking at this from a long-term perspective. I do like it, and I don't think it's over. This hasn't necessarily blown to the downside. I'm going to show you what I'm seeing in the mining companies next, and I'll show you why I think that. Now, silver was coming down. This guy was ready to roll right here. We popped higher, and then we got sold off right back down, as if somebody does not want this to rally at all. And the reason you see this, we've got a bullish engulfing here, and that's a big buying pressure day. This right here is when the buyers gain control, and all of a sudden we're getting sold off hard. So we'll see what happens down here if we go up or down. But this was the buyers lining it up to go higher. I would say if I see this pattern like this, I would say yes, it's time to go long. But obviously that call would have been wrong, or is wrong, looking at this and what actually happened. But the buyers lined it up here to shoot this thing higher. And what's very weird about some of this is that it's rare to see buyers line it up like this and have them fail like this. It is very weird. Am I saying it's manipulation? I don't know. But it is. It's a little funky. There's really no contraction in candlesticks. There's nothing going on here that would be like, man, this is a good clear turning point. Like this one seems legit. It came up, it consolidated, and then it kind of just rolled over and then picked up steam and then came back up. But this is a pretty big buying pressure day right here through this downtrend break. So I'm quite surprised that this would just fly down like this today, looking at the candlestick chart patterns. We've got platinum down here. I think this is a pretty cheap price. Is it going to turn around? Not exactly sure here. I got to see buyers step in. I'm waiting for buyers to step in here, and I haven't seen it yet. So I'm not doing anything. Now, GDX, we had that monster sell-off day in gold. Look at the percentage of gold. It was down 2.12%, pretty big sell-off. But the mining companies, even though it's a 4% down day, still were bought back up throughout the day. And it opened here, came back down, and then was bought back up a little bit, meaning that there's buyers down here. This didn't just sell off and close low and continue to fall. So I'm seeing it across the sector. Silver did the same thing. Silj, I should say. It came down, but it was bought back up. Almost like someone is selling this off and then buying the mining shares. They sold the contracts and are buying the mining shares. That's kind of what I'm seeing. We've got support's way down here. It's not close to support yet, but impact silver. Again, this doesn't look horrible. I mean, yes, it's an 8.8% down day. The buying pressure came in, small sell-off, big buying pressure, smaller sell-off, because we still didn't pull back all the way to here. I still think it doesn't look horrible. We broke the downtrend. Everything's intact. And Endeavor Silver doesn't look bad either. I mean, yes, it's a 6.8% down day. And I know people who are newer, they look at the percentages. They look at the down day and they say, oh my goodness, it was down. It's wrong. But we still have a bullish engulfing pattern. We were pushed lower at open. That's why it gapped. We came down and the buyers bought it back up. There's a bunch of buyers down here. It's rare to see a setup like this where you basically have huge buying pressure, small leak off of sellers. You get a huge bullish hammer stick pattern here where it's an engulfing pattern. We have two small down days. This right here was pushed. I don't believe it. And then there's buyers buying it back up again. That's why it got pushed down and sold off, and then buyers came and bought it right back up. That's a funky setup. Very rarely do I see that. It's doing the same thing in AG. Someone pushed this down pre-market, and then throughout the day they bought it back up. Interesting. Sandstorm Gold, same thing. Similar pattern. Newmont's got a little bit more buying or selling pressure than the other guys. It didn't quite get bought up as much. Hecla Mining, same thing. All these silver companies, it's like they got pushed down and then they got bought back up. That's why they have these big wicks, this hammer pattern, like it wants to come back up and bubble back higher. Yamana Gold's got the same type of pattern with the wick at the bottom. Usually it means buyers are down there. It got pushed lower and then it got back up, and momentum's coming to the upside. Is coming to the upside. So that's what I see today. A little bit weird of a pattern. So a lot of these things were lining up to go higher. I would say that 7 to 8 out of 10 times is usually ends up in a result going up. Another place that it happened was copper. Copper's lining up to go to do a pretty good moonshot, and it got punched lower before open, which is another very weird thing. It's like someone's punching some of this stuff lower, trying to hold it down. I don't think they're going to be successful. They might be on a day-to-day basis, but it got punched lower, it came down, buyers bought it back up. That's why they have those big wicks on the bottom like that. So, I mean, if you guys are courageous, I would be a buyer down here, but that's me. I see buyers are down there, but I think someone punched it lower to get the weak hands or the cabbage hands to sell, and they bought their shares. That's my guess. That's the only logical conclusion I can draw. Usually when things contract and move, they come together, and the buyers start to equal the sellers. So it's weird to see some of these big buying pressure days come up and not result in an upward move. So I think the move can still result upward, but let's watch. Let's see what tomorrow brings us. If we see a lot of sellers come in here and just stomp it lower, then we may go lower. That's the the path that they're going to go. If we see buyers step in here and romp it higher, then it's still game on. So if you guys like this content, throw me a thumbs up. Thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.